Hello everybody, my name is Ardalan Qilavizadeh. Now in this time, now in the India, I think flowering has been started. In the Iran, 7 days later will be started. In the Europe, 2 weeks later. In the Arabic country, near the between the 10 to 14 days will be started. In this time, gradually flowering is starting for your work. In this stage, what is your task? In this stage, you should 24 hours, 7 days, check your saffron bulb. Because in this stage, inside the sprout, this is the sprout, okay? Inside the sprout, when you cut, it's random. It is enough, you choose 2 or 3 saffron bulbs and check inside your sprout. If when you cut, for example, I cut it from the bulbs, and now this is the saffron bulb. Exactly, leaves, a stigma, and you can see this is the leaves. This is the stamen, petal. When you cut it, I want to show you. When you harvest, this is the small petal, and this is the stigma. This is S-style. After the separating the stigma from the petal, from the stamen, you should cut this part. This is the S-style. This is the yellow one is the S-style, and the red one is the stigma. It is enough with the nail or the cut. You separate, and you should separate dry. This is the stigma, beautiful stigma. This is a very small stigma. You should separate it, and also separately dry this, because both of them you can just sell it in the market. Usually the price of the S-style yellow one, the price of the S-style is 10% of the price of the total of the stigma. You should separate it dry, and after the harvesting. Now in this stage, then I cut this one of the bulbs. This is the cut, these bulbs, and I sow the flower. This means 7 days later. When you see, for example, in 1 or 2 bulbs, if you see, for example, like this is the flower inside the sprout. 7 days later, the flowers will coming out from the sprout. In this stage, full humidity, full light, and both of you use both artificial light and natural light, sunlight, and also 24 hours. And the temperature, this temperature, we experience the cold shocking. You should manage in this time, very important, because in the northern hemisphere, in this date, 7 days later, the flowering will be started. Usually when you experience the flowering, started from, for example, flowers, 1 bulbs, you can see 1, for example, the first day of the flowering, 3 bulbs, you can see the flowers. And the day after tomorrow, 6 flowers. 3 days later, after the beginning of the start flowering, gradually, but in the 1 day, all of your saffron bulb converted to the flower. It is very important. You should manage, you should organize from now. You should manage your workers, your labor force. Very important in this stage. And after the managing, for example, you should determine the date. For example, today is 10 October. For example, if today is the 10th October, for the 17th October, you should organize in this date, workers should come. For example, if you estimate 5 workers needed for this room, 10 workers needed, you should consider 40% increase the number. For example, if in your mind 7 workers needed, you should consider 12 workers, okay? Very important. Every time you should consider the more. For example, harvesting the flowers from the saffron bulb doesn't take time. This is a very big mistake. Some people think harvesting takes time. Harvesting doesn't take time. For example, 1 or 2 workers is enough for the harvesting in the 1 day. 2 or 3 workers is enough for this room. For the capacity, 5 ton saffron bulb, 5,000 kilogram saffron bulbs. 2 or 3 workers can harvest. After the harvesting, the separating stigma is the issue. That is, it takes time. You know, when you harvest, for example, for the 1 kilogram fresh flour, for the separating 1 kilogram fresh flour, you know, 1 kilogram fresh flours give you 20 gram dry saffron, super negin saffron. For the separating 1 kilogram fresh flour, one worker takes 4 hours. Separate 1 kilogram fresh flour. From 1 kilogram fresh flour, we can extract 20 gram dry saffron. Therefore, for 20 gram saffron, only for the 20 gram dry saffron, one worker after the 4 hours. We need for the 20 gram dry saffron, we need one worker 4 hours. Only for 20 gram. If you have 5 kilogram dry saffron, means we need a huge, a huge worker. But for 2 or 3 kilogram dry saffron, 4 kilogram labor force, physical traditional harvesting is enough. But if you have produced over 5 kilogram dry saffron, I recommend machine, separator machine that I mentioned in my book, from where you can buy this separator machine. If you want to buy my book, you can text me on WhatsApp 009 8935 825 3945. Text me on WhatsApp and I will guide you. Thank you.